Ensuring the continuity of safe education in emergencies is a key contribution to protecting children. Using the opportunity to improve access to education, including for previously excluded children, is an important aspect of building back better. However, these alone will not result in continuity of learning or better learning outcomes. Many other factors also need to be considered. Mobilising a sufficient supply of teachers who are willing and able to teach is arguably the biggest challenge in an emergency. Overcoming this may involve redeploying existing teachers or recruiting volunteers from the community, and may require financial or other incentives, ideally provided by the Education Authority. Ensuring that teachers reflect the community in terms of ethnicity, gender, and ability is an important aspect of inclusion and conflict sensitivity, and also encourages the meaningful engagement of all children in school, regardless of background. Volunteer teachers will need to be inducted, including in child safeguarding, and receive basic training on topics such as classroom management, planning, and assessment. To promote improved learning outcomes whilst also supporting student well-being, all teachers will require ongoing support on the use of emergency-appropriate pedagogy and content, as well as a considerate, practical and holistic approach to their own development and well-being, for example, via peer coaching. The curriculum, through the materials, language, messages and pedagogy it promotes, and the way it is taught, can either positively or negatively impact the child's experience, well-being, and the social dynamics of the context. EIE practitioners should try to minimise the ways in which curriculum content and how it is taught can do harm, and maximise its potential to improve child well-being and learning outcomes, as well as promote peace. Firstly, this means omitting inflammatory or insensitive content, and wherever possible, replacing it with messages of equality, tolerance, and peace. Additional content and activities which provide life-saving messages, life skills, and psychosocial support should also be incorporated, especially at the start of the response. As the situation stabilises and students' immediate psychosocial support needs are met, the curriculum can adapt to incorporate more content and activities which promote emotional well-being, resilience, and literacy and numeracy, all mutually reinforcing. In later phases of the response, a curriculum may also incorporate packages of support designed to boost children's literacy and numeracy at all levels, including preschool. Curriculums should be modified to the phase of the emergency and needs of the students, focusing in turn on supporting their survival, recovery, and then a return to learning. Re-engaging in meaningful learning can be particularly challenging for children who have missed out on schooling or who do not speak the language of instruction, including refugee students. Help to overcome these challenges may involve compressing a curriculum to allow it to be delivered in an accelerated format, and the provision of additional language catch-up and bridging classes. Materials and tools, including textbooks and technology such as apps and tablets, can support and boost the process of teaching and learning, as well as motivate children and their families to resume education. Learning kits may also include additional items to support health and protection, such as footwear, flashlights, and hygiene kits. Where markets and conflict sensitivities allow, cash transfers may replace the physical distribution of these materials. It is important to remember that material selection should be based on need and feasibility, and not just because they are fashionable or easily increase the number of children reached. All education in emergencies interventions aimed at improving learning outcomes should be based on a robust assessment of needs, including teacher competencies, children's level of development, social and emotional learning, and literacy and numeracy. Various international and localised tools already exist for these assessments. Teachers also need to be equipped with the skills to formatively assess their students so that they can adapt their pedagogical practices to maximise engagement and learning outcomes. A key motivation for learning and development, including for teachers, is that it will open up opportunities for a better future. But unless previous and new learning is formally recognised by authorities, including host governments, this motivation is undermined, and commitment to education may suffer. All initiatives to improve education and learning outcomes in emergencies should, wherever possible, be planned and implemented in close collaboration and coordination with the education authorities, cluster or EIE working group, depending on the context. Meaningful parental and community participation is also vital to these efforts, both at the school level and by establishing a nurturing home environment. All of these aspects are clearly framed and explained in the INEE minimum standards.